are limits to free speech, as there are everything else. Even First Amendment in America has a number of limitations to it.
And I understand why you don't understand the First Amendment, because you come from a country that doesn't have one. That's why we left. He's a redcoat. He's a redcoat at heart. And yesterday, in an article at the New York Post, Piers Morgan was whining about Elon Musk letting Alex Jones back on X. And if you're on YouTube, you didn't see us yesterday with Alex Jones here on the show. Yeah. And we're really happy, really proud of the fact that, Mug Club, you guys helped replatform him. And if you want to continue this, you have this Nashville Manifesto, Alex Jones being replatformed. None of this happens without your support. LidoWithCrowder.com/Mug Club. And you get a free copy of Beautiful Differences, my children's book that we have tens of thousands of printings. Once they're gone, they're gone. Between now and Christmas. That's it. Okay. Piers Morgan.
Asshole. Go ahead. Lumpy pillows.
So the title is Elon Musk couldn't have been more wrong about Alex Jones. He's not a free speech hero. He's a hate speech monster. So that brings us to this week's installment of Rules for Thee, Not for Me. All right, let's start off with rules for thee. So after 30 paragraphs whining about Alex Jones, Piers concluded his article by saying, to Elon, I always love it how these people write these open letters.
I know.
He said,
Elon's certain to read it.
all you've done by showing this monster mercy is reward him for his repellent treatment of already devastated families experiencing the same awful grief you felt when your son died. Well, thank you for telling him how he should feel regarding the death of his son, you pompous prick.
Jesus.
Think about that. Hey, you know what? That's kind of one of those things. Just shut up. You don't get to tell someone that they're being a hypocrite or get to determine how they should behave because of a loss. The ultimate tragedy that I can't even imagine in their family. So that's the conclusion, but we'll work backwards. This is also the guy, Piers Morgan, who I guess you could say sparred with Count Dankula about this issue, Alex Jones, on his show just yesterday.
Yeah, I think he's completely right in doing it. It's
Why?
Elon Musk's company, so if he wants Alex Jones back on the platform, then he absolutely can.
Is there a line, though, on free speech at all for you?
For me personally, no.
Nothing,
No,
anything?
no. I think that Alex Jones should be able to go on Twitter. If they want him there, then that's fine. They can have him there and he can...
Do you think what he said about the Sandy Hook massacre was justified then?
Justified? He has the right to say it. Wouldn't say it was justified.
These were statements which he repeatedly made, which led to actual intimidation, harassment, death, and rape threats, and people in the street going up to these people and confronting them, these parents. You think all that is fine?
I don't think it's fine. I never said it's
What is
right.
it?
I said he has a right to do it.
Does he have a right to do it?
Yeah, agreeing that someone has a right
Do you think he has a right to do that?
Yeah, I think he has a right to do it.
Really?
Agreeing that someone has a right to do something isn't the same as agreeing with what they say. If we're saying, oh, this guy's not allowed to say his conspiracy theories or whatever you want to call them because some crazy guy out there might do something mental, then nobody can talk about anything at all.
Well, you can. There are limits to free speech, as there are everything else. Even First Amendment in America has a number of limitations to it.
Really? Okay, good. Name it, Piers. Let me guess. You're going to use that old hack argument of yelling fire in a crowded theater, trying to grift off of the right wing as a free speech warrior when you don't understand the First Amendment? And I understand why you don't understand the First Amendment, because you come from a country that doesn't have one. That's why we left. You don't lose your First Amendment rights. Even after defamation, to be clear, you get charged with defamation, or there can be but you don't lose your right to speak. It is completely inalienable. He doesn't understand that. And he also lies, just to be clear. That's not why Alex Jones was removed from Twitter. He was removed for making fun of Oliver Darcy, a journalist from CNN who could be mistaken for, not saying is, an actual terrorist. So that's why he was removed. This idea, he spent something like 16 minutes over the course of years on Sandy Hook, apologized for it, said that he screwed up, said he screwed up. He never called for violence or called for people to harass anybody. Piers Morgan doesn't understand what freedom of speech is, which is why when he goes out there and acts as though he's a platform hosting people of different points of view, it's a lie. It's a lie. He's not. It's one thing to. You don't have to have Alex Jones on your show. You absolutely do not. And I don't think that means you're anti-free speech. The problem is when you are writing in a major publication, you are calling for someone to be removed based on faulty information. So hit the like button if you agree with Count Dankula there, even if you understood maybe 20% of what he just said.
Well,
I did love that. It was fun to try to decipher that.
Yeah.
Look,
Listen, you get closer to the TV, even though that's not going to help you hear better.
I'm not saying it's right. It's not right. For example, it's not right for you to be a total prick, but it's not right for you to do it, but you have the right. You have the right to be a giant pussy boy, but it doesn't mean that it's right.
What he said.
That can be, is it right? And do you have the right? You have the right to be a bloated piss bag. That doesn't make it right, but you have the right.
And I love his point. He said, look, if you're worried that some random guy is going to go do something crazy because you talk about something, then we can't talk about anything. That's the natural extension of this. He's like, if Alex can't go out and make these comments, he can be sued, fine. But he's not driving people to go do something. He didn't say show up at these people's doorsteps. He didn't say go to their homes and follow them in their businesses and make, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I'm talking like a congresswoman saying get in their faces in public and make sure they don't have a comfortable life so that they can hear it. That's not what happened with Alex Jones.
No.
And if you extrapolate this out, then there is no speech. I'm not talking about free speech. There is no speech because somebody might do something crazy because they don't like it.
Yeah.
I never thought that the voice of reason in a political talk show would be someone named Count Dankula.
Who talks like that?
Count Dankula. Dude, it's so awesome.
Look, I'm more of a motor. I look at both sides, right? Like I see one side, you're a prick. On the other side, you're an asshole. But I can see both arguments to be made.
You gotta meet in the middle.
We can all agree on haggis.
Get meet in the middle like the buttons that are between your suit, hanging on for dear life, clinging together. I can hear you getting fatter. You have the right to be a fat bastard. Doesn't mean it's right. Now, that brings us, here's what's so interesting, is he wants Twitter to not allow Alex Jones on the platform. Okay. Twitter they benefit from Section 230, right? It's treated as a platform, largely like a public utility. They enjoy those benefits where they're not held liable for what people say on their platform, as opposed to a publisher. And just to prove how little he understands the concept of the First Amendment, and it's rivaled only by his ignorance on the Second Amendment, this brings us to Piers Morgan's rules for me. He hosted Alex Jones on his very own program this year. Here's a clip.
You're never going to get our First Amendment, and I'm glad you had to move back to England to live under your Islamic takeover when they're arresting people for being against transgenderism.
Okay.
All right, Alex.
So in other words, he doesn't want someone like Alex Jones to be able to speak with a bullhorn in the town square.
Right.
But it's basically a video version of New York Post, New York Times.
Yeah.
He wants to host him. Hey, you actually can be liable if you're hosting that person. You're a publisher. You're not a platform. You are not a utility. By the way, I was about to say Elon Musk. Sorry, Piers Morgan has also hosted Suhail Shaheen, the Taliban spokesperson.
Jeez.
Wahid Asif Shaida, an Islamist extremist leader, Jeremy Corbyn, the anti-Semitic Labor Party leader, Lorenzo Gilliard, the Kansas City Strangler, murdered 13 women.
I like how we say "the" as though there are multiple and we have to distinguish. Right. Kansas City Stranglers. No. This isn't the fake, Johnny Come Lately Kansas City Strangler. It's the.
Or like a football player telling their college, the Ohio State.
Right, exactly.
I was the murderer.
Yeah. This guy just wants to peddle in smut. This guy wants to have all of the clicks, all of the clickbait, all of the eyeballs and ears, while just claiming that he's being a neutral observer as he offers his platform as a publisher, as he offers his private, I'm using the term platform, remember there's platform and publisher. He's a publisher, and he's availing his audience to these people so that he can hopefully, take another stab at relevancy after the lowest rated show on CNN after Larry King, which is an accomplishment.
But those ratings. Ooh.
So why is he so upset that Musk is letting Alex Jones back onto X? I'd love to hear from you. You can comment below. I have a theory, and it could be that he's scared Alex might drop some more truth bombs and hot takes like this.
And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? That's why you're going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns. I already said earlier,
talking about
England has a lot lower gun crime rate because you took all the guns.
Let me try exactly my
But you've got hordes of people burning down cities and beating old women's brains out every day.
Let's try again. How many gun murders were there?
Oh, you're going to ban your fist now?
In Britain last year.
How many chimpanzees can dance on the head of a pin?
I need to know the answer.
Listen, Alex, I'm not going to play into your trick questions.
3. Everybody knows it's 4.
I couldn't answer how many monkeys jumping on a bed.
One fell off and bumped his head.
Yes.
I wish you'd
That's the problem with American healthcare, isn't it? Because see, that
Always
monkey would
bumping
have to
your
go to
heads.
his insurance company. And, just Piers,
Just shut
stop
up.
it. I'm sorry. Fraud. There we go.
Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.